Well, hello, my YouTube friends and family. Good morning. So, anyways, today is lot 32, and we have a grand next set of 10 books for $2 in the romance section. So, this is the first book of the day. This is called This Far from Paradise by Philip Shelby. This is a 1988 book. This is what it looks like. Let's get those yummy age pages. And that's my post-it note. And this is the synopsis, which is what the book is about. This Far from Paradise. Sweeping from the Caribbean to the south of France, from Wall Street to the London art world, this roller coaster ride of novel introduces Rebecca McHenry, a sheltered beauty who takes the reins of a complex empire before she's 20. Treachery. Rebecca's father was a legend, a penniless prospector who had hit the gold strike of the century, then built a financial kingdom in the lush Caribbean nation he loved, the Angelines. But Max McHenry made bitter enemies, powerful enemies whose dominion in their tropical paradise had never before been challenged. Tragedy. Now suddenly and mysteriously Max dies and Rebecca inherits his empire and all of his enemies. Enemies who bide behind courtly smiles to take everything Rebecca holds dear until waking to overnight ruin. Rebecca realizes she is her father's daughter after all. Triumph. As founder of the Tides, a lavish resort chain, Rebecca will summon all she has learned about power and survival to exact her revenge. And in seeking justice, she will discover unexpected redemption in the gift of love. Wow, that sounds like a powerful book. So then we have book number 2. This is really dark. I don't know. I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Oh well. This is called Richmond the Flame by Elizabeth Fritch. And this is actually a 1980 book. And this is what it looks like. It's got a little writing right there. Lots of yummy age pages. Ooh. And this is what the book is about. Melissa Armstrong was beautiful, young, and determined to abide by her father's last request, to get her uncle's home in Richmond before the Civil War started. And it's there that she meets Jackson Vaughan, a tall, handsome cavalry lieutenant under Jeb Stuart's command. Amidst the raging battle of a country divided, they are swept into a fiery love affair. But when Jackson proposes marriage, Melissa is alarmed. How could she marry a Confederate when her heart is with the Union? Torn between her own loyalties and those of her loved ones, Melissa can only pray that the war will end quickly and that her lover will return home and that no one will discover her heart-trending secret. And there's that book. Book number 3. We have Kirkland Rebels by Victoria Holt. This is a 1962. This is what this book looks like. A little daughter writing in the front. Haunting suspense, thoroughly absorbing. Kirkland Rebels loomed high above the wild and eerie Yorkshire moors with a brooding stone fortress. To some, there was an atmosphere of evil about the place, but to the innocent young bride like Catherine, the huge ancestral mansion seemed magnificently romantic. She did not know then of the terrible secrets imprisoned behind its massive walls, or that from the moment she entered her new home, she had crossed the threshold of terror. Like Mistress Nunn, Victoria Holt's previous Kirkland Rebels is a masterful blend of mystery, romance, and drama. Ooh. So this has got a little suspense with the romance. So we have number 4. This is Dream of Orchids by Phyllis A. Whitney. And this is actually a 1985 book. This is what it looks like. And this is what it's about. Laurel York has dreamed of this reunion with her ailing father, the famous writer Clifton York, ever since he left her and her mother for the beautiful Poppy. But now Poppy is dead under mysterious circumstances, and Laurel has given up everything to follow her father down to the exotic Florida Keys. But only the handsome Marcus O'Neill welcomes her, and even the love that blossoms between them cannot stop the evil that awaits her. The intrigue surrounding her two suspicious stepsisters, the strange man they both love, and his secret buried treasure. Only the prize orchids waiting in Poppy's greenhouse hold the key to a life of love Laurel has only dreamed about, or a nightmare that can only end in murder. Ooh, this is another one. Sounds good. And number 5, we have Maurice Lower. This is by Patricia Phillips, and it is in 1983. A little bit of writing right there. A couple pages, it looks like they have a little bit of ribbage, but the words in the story is all there. This is, she was a golden-haired French immigrant wed to one of Regency England's most eligible bachelors. She longed for the tender embraces of a loving man, but was destined to suffer danger and dishonor in her relentless search for love. William Dowling, gambling was his sin, and making Marie the stakes was his downfall. The Earl of Cranbrook, crafty and sadistic, he schemed to make Marie his prisoner and a participant in his terrible rituals of love. Brandon Nichols, he claimed Marie in one perfect dreamlike night of ecstasy, then vanished, leaving her to seek him in war-torn Paris, where a beautiful woman could become a conqueror's prize. Well, that sounds intriguing. Okay, then we have number 6. This is The Frightened Bride by Barbara Cartland. This is in 1975. That's what this book looks like. This is what it's, well, let's see what this one's about. It was hardly a love match. The couple met for the first time at the altar when they exchanged their marriage vows. The bride's wealthy dictatorial father had bribed and blackmailed Major Kelvin Ward into marrying his only daughter. Kelvin had no choice but to go through with the wedding, but he bitterly resented the old man's scheming and the girl who had deprived him of his freedom. Now his young wife sat trembling in the bridal cabin of the ship that was carrying them to India, dreading the approach of the angry stranger who had just become her husband. That sounds scary. Okay. Number 7. This is Ecstasy's Conquest by K. McMahon, and this is in 1984. This is what the book looks like. And it says, his kiss sealed her fate. Lovely Victoria Remington couldn't believe this was happening to her. She'd been won in a card game by a devilish rogue of a pirate. Just days ago, she'd been a pampered belle of Raven Oaks plantation, but as she looked into the steel blue eyes of her handsome captor, she knew that her old life was gone forever. And when she felt the warmth of his body next to hers, his passionate kiss, his gentle touch, she couldn't help but yield her innocence to this strange magnetic man. Her love seared his soul. Dashing Captain Drew Chandler thought he knew just what was happening when he took the wench as his winnings. Anyone could see she was a beauty, despite her attempt to disguise herself as a wretched cabin boy. But when he finally held her in his arms, kissed her trembling lips, caressed her silken curves, he knew he'd got much more than he had bargained for. This was one woman he'd never be able to forget now that he'd made her his ecstasy's conquest. Sounds good. Then we have book number 8. This is called The Cruel Beauty by Trevor. How do you say that last name? Trevor Meldal Johnsen. This is in 1983. There's a little bit of writing in the front and a little hole in the book where it looks like somebody took a hole puncher and punched a hole. And then there's this. And this is what it's about. A defiant English beauty in a cruel, untamed land. As the covered wagon lurched along the rough trail into the vast wilderness of South Africa, lovely golden-haired Catherine Carson held tight to her bright hopes for a better life, but her genteel English upbringing hadn't prepared her for the dark destiny awaiting her in this untamed land, or for the 3 violent men who would kill her dreams in one night of terror. She vowed to avenge her honor and her loved ones. Nothing would keep her from her pledge. Not the harshly disapproving Boer settlers, not the deadly treachery of savage men, not the passions of a handsome Irish adventurer. Alone she rode into uncharted Africa to take her vengeance and to discover an unexpected love that bound her to this cruel yet beautiful land. Sounds like an adventure. Book number 9. The Growing Season by Jan Cox Speas. This is a 1963. It's a little hole punched, some rating, and this is the story. And this is what it's about. She was lovely 17, and life was reaching out for her with promised agony and first love. Jody was a beautiful, still shy, and finding out what every girl learns young in a poor Carolina mill town. Already she knew why her stepfather looked at her, why his son wanted to get her alone, why she had to get away. It was the season for meeting a man who was strong enough to be gentle. Tay, the good-looking loner who wanted to make good for the time spent in the army and jail, who took Jody with him when small-town jealousies and violence got them in trouble with the law. And there you go. And then we have number 10. This is called The Dream Chasers by David Rogers. It's a 1977. It's got some rating in it. And this is what the book looks like. At least the writing's not on the story pages. And this is what this is about. Meet Tootie, Althea, and Dawn, 3 desperate people chasing technicolor dreams. Tootie Taylor is ambitious. She wants to sing, but she wants to make it on her own, not through a package deal with a sexual price tag. Dawn Vestry is talented. He wants to write, but he wants to say something that matters, not something Hollywood could sell. Althea Vestry is beautiful. She has money, but not as much as she wants. Status, but is not as much as she wants. Men, but not as much as she wants. She wants the one that got away. Sounds good. So, if you are interested in these books, this is lot 32. And you can contact me through Minda's Bookstore and more on Facebook, or you can email me, and everything will be in the description below. And if you don't know where that is, it's a little arrow on the right-hand side of your screen on YouTube. You click it, and a drop-down opens up, and you scroll down, and it has all the information down there. And all I want to say is I hope you have a great day. Thank you for spending time watching my videos, and you take care. Bye. Mwah.